initiated.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of Rogue Agent Radio, the #1 fan podcast for Tom Clancy's The Division. I'm one of your hosts, Boomslangg, and joining me, as always, is the master of management, DeepFriedDave. How are you doing on this lovely day, Dave?
The beta is back, baby.
It's the beta.
The beta is back.
We're going to keep that going forever. The beta.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's Valentine's Day.
It is.
So we got some things planned.
I'm not going to ask about your plans. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know about these lobster tails. I'm going to stuff lobster tails. I'm going to be doing.
And with us, we also have, as always, the rock star of gaming, BlessedDoom. How you doing, Doom?
I'm doing a lot better today than I was earlier this week. Yeah, if anybody was paying attention to me on Twitter, I'll do just a tiny bit of real talk for a second. I was having some trouble earlier, and I won't go into too much detail, but a little PTSD, TBI related depression and anger and stuff. But I want to thank everybody who messaged me and direct messaged me and commented and everything. That actually really helped out a lot. So I really appreciate it from everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm doing good today, and yes, it is Valentine's Day, and I'm going to tell you what my Valentine's Day plans with my fiance are. We're going to watch Deadpool.
Oh, that's awesome. I tried to get my wife to go watch Deadpool with me. We went out on our date on Friday. Yeah. It was her idea?
It was her idea.
Wow. You're
Yep.
lucky.
She likes all the geeky stuff just like I do. So
She's a keeper.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
That's why you're marrying her, so hang on to her
yes,
for
indeed.
a while. Yeah, that's cool. We went out, me and my wife went out yesterday because we bought a dog, and we didn't actually buy it for Valentine's Day. We bought it a few weeks ago, and we were actually able to pick it up today, and we had to drive through Knoxville, and normally Knoxville's not bad. Knoxville's not a very, it's not like a huge metropolis by any means, but the traffic, it was like, this reminds me of like LA traffic. This is ridiculous. To turn right to get off of the interstate or whatever, it was backed up for like 2 miles. It's like, this doesn't happen here. It's Valentine's Day. I was like, this isn't even as bad as it is on Christmas. I don't know. It's either a lot of guys messed up or I don't know what it's just weird. Yeah, we got a new dog. We got a Australian Shepherd dog, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited about that. So, anyways, what games have you guys been playing? Anything different, or you just burn out on everything until the Division comes out?
Well, I've actually been playing a lot of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
How you been liking that one?
I
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
really like it. It's really, really good.
Awesome.
I'm actually surprised at how good it was. I picked it up on sale just because I needed something to play on my Xbox, before the Division came out. And I was really surprised. It's really, really good.
That's one of those I want to pick up since I have an Xbox now. Like I haven't really messed around with it a whole lot.
Yeah, it's too bad that it came out on the same day as Fallout 4, and I feel like it got overshadowed a little bit. And people talk about how good it is, but I don't think it got the attention that it deserves.
Right. What about you, Dave? What have you been playing?
Well, I'm trying not to put too much investment into anything because I was really enjoying The Witcher 3 before the closed beta started.
And then it ruined you.
Now, well, it didn't ruin me because it's a great game. It just ruined me because if I don't finish it, it's going to give me anxiety. So I just know I won't be able to now. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try because I'll get more frustrated. So I've been picking it up a little bit here and there just to play some Gwent, I think. But that new Helldivers game, I think we were talking about a little bit, that came free with PS Plus this month. It's pretty cool. So
did you play it?
Yeah. I played it a few
it?
times, and I got one of my buddies to play too. So we were enjoying it. And see, the nice thing is real quick little campaigns, maybe 5-10 minutes that you can squeeze in whenever. So yesterday I just sat down for a half hour, 45 minutes and messed around with it, and it was still fun.
Yeah, that's what I love about that game. Like, you can just jump in, play for a few minutes. I've actually been playing a lot of that and hitting Call of Duty every once in a while. It's double XP weekend, so I've been playing that. But yeah, Helldivers, I've been playing that with my wife, actually. got her into some video games. And I have a huge announcement. My wife beat her first video game ever with me the other day. We beat Knack, and it was a momentous occasion because she when we first got married, she's like, I hate video games. I was like, well, you're gonna learn to love them because I love them. So, but she had a bad experience with them a long time ago. Like her brothers were addicted to World of Warcraft and turned into total jerks and stuff when they were playing it. So that's kind of how she hated it. But anyways, that's beside the point. This podcast is about Tom Clancy's Division. In case you didn't know, Rogue Agent Radio is your base of operations for all the Division news, information, game discussions, and agent trust issues. You can find us on iTunes and Podbean by searching Rogue Agent Radio, where the show is posted every Monday morning. So subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends, and all that good stuff. Also, check us out on our official website, rogueagentradio.com, where you can find links to all of our podcasting wares and social media hubs, such as Twitter and Facebook, and you know the drill. And another little announcement is I'm not going to do any of the transitions that you all are used to hearing in between like the news and the listener mail and the gun review. I just want to experiment this week and see how things flow. If you guys like this, let me know. If you would rather have the transitions, then let us know. You can tweet at us at Rogue Agent Radio or email us at rogueagentradio@gmail.com and just, we need to know what you guys like. I just want to experiment this week. So anyways, we'll go ahead and begin episode 18 with the news of the week. So take us away, Dave. Anytime. You guys there?
I'm here.
Sorry. that was a mute button. First time in 18 episodes that's happened for me. So if you've been following any Division news, you've heard that.
I was like, Dave's like zoned out, ready for that transition. We're not even going to edit that out. That's going to be in there. This is pure gold.
Oh, man, that was perfect.
Anytime. Okay.
Yeah.
For real this time.
The news of the week. As we predicted last week's episode, there was a little accidental flash of some information that an open beta would be available, and we did get the official announcement. So the open beta has been confirmed. Xbox users will be able to start playing the beta a day early on the 18th, which would be this Thursday, and then PS4 and PC players start Friday the 19th. Then the beta will close for everyone on Sunday, February 21st. A couple things about the beta. It's obviously an open beta, and if you kept your closed beta on your system, then they'll just requires a patch, which may have already installed, and then you'll be ready for the open beta. If you didn't play the closed beta and you need to install it, they are going to have it available for preload on the 16th. So, and
everybody with slow internet will be able to get it on their systems in time.
Right. Yep. Boot up that 56K. We should let you know, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, is that your progress from the closed beta will not transfer over into the open beta. So
I thought that was interesting. I wonder why they did that, or maybe it's just because of all the balancing that they did with it. But I was like, makes me wonder.
I guess it depends on how much they actually fixed behind the scenes.
Right.
I think it's okay. Let's just reboot it and see how it all goes again with all these fixes. And could be some, I don't know, but I think somebody mentioned, I don't know if it was on our show or not, but somebody said, the second that they probably stopped that open beta or that closed beta, they just wiped all the server information off. But
yeah, it's possible.
I'm not sure.
Clean slate. But it also puts everyone on a level playing field. Like people can't go in there in their level 8s, level 8 bracket or whatever, and get all of the chests or something before the other. I don't know. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It takes you like 2 to 4 hours to level up, depending on how you play.
Yeah. Along with that, they did show some of the alpha and beta rewards that you'll be getting. So similar to other games, you will get rewards. Looks like so far it's just been cosmetic type items,
right?
Just for your participation, and it seems like it may be a lot more coming down the line. But if you were on the Xbox and you were an alpha tester, there is a weapon skin that you'll get. It's kind of blue, white, and red splattered paint type of thing. Weapon skin. Closed beta testers will get it's called a short bows sports cap, but I would call it a baseball cap with the same colors on it. So it looks like it's matchy. So blue, white, and red color scheme, similar to the Alpha weapon skin. Now, looking at it all, we're guessing the open beta reward might be this jacket. Because if you look at the picture of the Alpha weapon skin they have on there, you can see that character actually wearing a jacket that matches the weapon kind of color, and also matches the baseball hat kind of color. So it looks like it looks like it'll be kind of a full set. That
you're gonna put that image in the patch notes so people can see it.
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't even. I mean, I know what the gun looks like or whatever, but I never even noticed the jacket in the background.
Yeah.
I think
it kind of looks. If you're a Miami Dolphins football fan, I think this is right up your alley. That's what it reminds me of. First time I seen it, it's like Dolphins colors because it's kind of a teal blue.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't confirm whether or not you'll be able to pick up the rewards in the open beta, my guess is they won't be available until the full release.
Right.
But these are the types of things that you would pick up from that rewards vendor who is situated in the base of operations, if you weren't aware already. So
he's the postmaster from Destiny.
He is. Yep, he is.
But he's not a robot. He's a real human now.
No, he is. He is.
That's kind of cool, though, that they're going to have that, so you know that there's going to be all sorts of like rewards and things that you can do in game and be rewarded with, So maybe that's the kind of events that they'll have, like participate in this particular event or whatever it is, and you'll get a weapon skin. It's like, oh, that's cool, just something that's, fun. It's better than 3 strange coins for logging in on a day or whatever.
And even though in the U.S. we don't have the community intelligence site, but I'm assuming that's where you would pick up rewards for however they're doing it there for,
Sure.
Whether it's participation or recognition. So cool idea.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone, I think in the U.S., if they entered that code for the the live action movie or whatever, and you get 4 of those skins, like you get the policeman, the fireman, the hunter, and like the paramedic, that'll be the place you pick them up. It's pretty cool.
And then let's see, we have, of course, as everyone knows, I love a good set of stats. So we got some, they got some stats for us from the closed beta. So some closed beta statistics. There's a lot of, and these are, just some fun numbers to look at.
Right.
So they outline like 12 to 14 different stats, but here's a couple that we like over here.
There's only one I care about. So continue.
All right, let's see if I have the last. I'm gonna save it for the last. Let me see if that's the one that we're talking about. Bullets fired, almost 15 billion bullets fired.
That's crazy.
That's a big number. The most lethal weapon used, or the most used weapon, was the M4. I'm guessing it's the most kills that people have gotten was the M4.
Yeah, and I'd say that's just because that's what people started with, and then they just stick with it. I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, you gotta think when it says lethal, I'm assuming it's the most kills with that weapon. Yeah, it was a good gun, at least through your first mission and stuff. Yeah. So, extractions, 6.1 million successful extractions.
Wow,
that's a big number.
That is. Yeah. How many people played it? Did they say how many people?
No, they didn't say no. They didn't say how many people were in it. No, they just mentioned they had a stat they were trying to pull like for a total number of hours played or so on and so forth. But the one I did pull off of there. It says there was one agent who played for 90 hours.
God, that is insane. 90 hours. I wonder if that's like continual playtime or if they just left their character logged in.
Yeah,
I wish they would give us his name too, so we can send him a message. And
I think it's Alex Noon.
Probably.
Yeah. And the last one I pulled off was the number of car doors closed.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's ready for the drum roll. Oh, car doors closed. 7.2 billion car doors closed.
Jeez. That's it? I'm just kidding. I know I closed like 1 billion of those, so you're welcome. Not really.
I know Doom was responsible for 1/4 of those as well. So
yeah,
that was
I was trying to shoot him closed, but that wasn't as effective.
Yeah.
So if you heard us last week on the show with Eric's and Boom, they both put out some videos about the potential for another faction called the Last Man Battalion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? They released a video, a really cool video. I'll put a link in the show notes. Ubisoft did that shows some cinematics of all of the factions. So it's actually really cool. You get to see some different cutscenes that I believe are new of all of the different factions. But
they
did confirm the Last Man Battalion in there. And what they showed was pretty sweet.
They are badass.
Definitely a military company of people. And you will see that they look and operate as deadly as we discussed last week in our cohesive military outfit.
Right.
And no doubtedly, as we probably up to this point, no doubtedly are our biggest enemies in the game.
Yeah. I think what was one of the most interesting, and I don't know if you might be hitting on it or not.
No, I was going to hit on my tank theory.
Oh, okay.
Even though, and I talked about the tanks last week, and I know Doom's going to try to hypercorrect me, but it looked like a tank in the picture that they were like up against.
Yeah,
and I can't remember if it was in the video, but Doom did tell me it was what'd you say it was a striker?
Yeah, well, in that that's the picture that I saw. Yeah, that is the front end of a striker. But I mean, it just depends on your definition of a tank. I mean, it's an armored vehicle. It's just not as heavily armored as an actual tank.
Right. But you can put a big gun on it, right?
Oh yeah. There's
millimeter, isn't it?
There's tons of different versions of the striker, and one of them is the striker. You can put the 105 cannon on it, which is the same size that's on a regular tank.
Good enough for me.
Yep.
That just
That's
holds my tank theory.
I honestly think strikers would be more effective in that environment than an actual tank. So it's
that would probably be something a private military company would actually use instead of a tank, because they are a lot more mobile, wouldn't you say?
Right.
Be able to get in, get out really quickly. They can also carry soldiers.
Yep, that's exactly what. That's why we switched over to using them, is because they have all these different variants, and you can put troops in them, and they're much more mobile. I mean,
right.
I drove a striker 70 miles an hour the wrong way against traffic in Iraq. Very heavily armored. I mean, it's not technically a tank, and it's an 8-wheeled vehicle, but they're still tough, and they can take some damage.
I want the rest of that story.
Yeah, I mean, I know that in some countries they're driving the other side of the streets. I don't know if that was the problem or if it was. No, actually, that's just you.
Yeah, in Iraq, I drove on all sides of the street.
That's awesome.
I will say though, a lot of people were questioning me about the tank thing because it would be almost impossible to take down. Now, if it was one of those strikers, it'd be more reasonable for a group of agents to take it out, right?
Yes.
So. There we go.
It would be entirely possible.
Yeah, and I mean, they could put things in there like fire and forget rockets. Like you fire and forget them, and then they could just be laying around. You could use explosives. I mean, there's things that they could throw in there.
Yeah,
things.
My point was an EMP grenade. One EMP.
Oh
grenade. Get up close, do whatever you need to do. But that would at least
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, you have like a wrench, and you go and you take the wheels off of it, and
I mean, you got to throw a little bit of the realism out the window whenever you get to video games. I mean, you could video game the hell out of a tank encounter,
right?
There's no way, troops on the ground are going to take on a fully armored tank, but I mean, it's a video game, so blow the tracks off.
There's a lot of things you could do, but my little conspiracy was, or not really conspiracy. I think it's more of a confirmed fact, but it just hasn't been brought up a whole lot, is you see the Last Man Battalion attacking the cleaners, so that indicates other factions fighting each other. And they mentioned that in an article a long time ago, and it wasn't like years ago, it's like probably 6 months ago or something like that. But that they said that you'll be able to use other factions' encounters as a strategic operation. Like you can go in and take out these guys while they're fighting each other or while they're distracted and weakened by each other, basically, and make it a lot easier on yourself. So it'll be interesting to see if that makes it into the final game.
All right, moving on to the last. We'll save the last one. Obviously, we have a little more discussion about this, but there are some patch notes from the closed beta to the open beta. and some juicy stuff here. So, PS4 players who left the closed beta client on their system were the first to see a patch applied for the open beta. In these patch notes, you'll see they've added a bunch of new content. They've made some major changes to the Dark Zone, and then obviously fixed a handful of bugs. I don't want to say handful, but it sounds like they fixed a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
Two
handfuls.
Yeah, 2 handfuls. There you go. Double the handfuls, double the fun. Okay, we're not going to go over all of them because there is a lot of stuff. We'll show you a link in our show notes. But partners at Division.Zone, of course, have an article that has them all listed there for you. And I'll put that in there as well. So start off with the new stuff. So if you're thinking, I don't need to play the open beta now because I really took it to it on the closed beta. Well, now they just changed your mind because there's a whole new mission to play called the Subway Morgue.
Yeah, that was me too. Like I was like, I'm not. If it's exactly the same, I'm not going to play it as much. I'll go in there and get some more details for videos or whatever. But like I've already played it. I know what I'm getting. I don't need to. But this changed my mind.
Yeah, and in this, and maybe this, I'm not sure if it's in this Subway Morgue, but you'll explore a mass grave.
I would say so. I mean, it's called Subway Morgue.
Yeah, that's what I would think so too. You'll explore a mass grave while trying to restore power to the city and rescue the missing engineer Paul Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And then once you rescue Paul Rhodes, much like in the closed beta where you rescue the medical officer Jessica, when you rescue Paul, it will unlock the technical wing. So a whole nother wing will be unlocked in this open beta. And once you unlock the wing, you'll be able to do the first unlockable, quote unquote, mission, or it's not a mission, but you'll be able to unlock the first upgrade. And you do that by, collecting tech supplies from encounters and such. And when you do unlock that first upgrade, guess what you get? You get a new skill, the deployable turret skill, which is going to be, we'll talk about this later in the episode, but it's going to be something fun. It's going to change the way that people play this game in the Dark Zone, guaranteed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, numerous Dark Zone updates and improvements. We're going to start off with some easy ones here. There's going to be, if you played the closed beta, there was a safe house with high-end weapons, and in there they sold two weapons, the Caduceus and the Cassidy. Well, this time there's going to be new high-end weapons for us to strive for in the Dark Zone.
Nice.
One thing that I'm quite happy about that was one of my most frustrating experiences in the Dark Zone was the refresh rate on the Dark Zone chests.
Yeah.
Yes. So they've greatly, I think they worded it a little uncomfortable here, but it says refresh rate on Dark Zone chests has been greatly reduced. I think the refresh rate is actually increased. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Anyway, so
the refresh time has been reduced or something.
Yeah.
Maybe how.
So regardless, if you went 0 for 21 on Dark Zone chests like I did,
someone's still a little bit, sense a little animosity there.
That was my way, as a lone agent. That was a good way to get your Dark Zone bucks. You had a Dark Zone key. You could find these chests littered around, and that you get you a quick 1,000 Dark Zone funds. So, and the chests in the subway, I think, was a good kind of, I don't want to say grinding area, but another good area that I think we only found available once or twice through the whole beta. So all the chests and such in the instance that you're in the Dark Zone, once somebody loots them, they're not able to loot until the timer resets. The timer did take a long time to reset before. Now they have shortened the length of that timer so that more people can open chests. So they give you...
That'll be cool. I only opened a few chests. Like if anyone wants to see what it looks like to open one of these chests, I have a video. It's actually a live stream where we went in very early. I think Doom was there. I think you were. Yeah. And we opened several of them. We probably opened like 10.
We did that entire loop.
Yeah.
And we got all of the chests, and there's a bunch of them down there.
Yeah. So, over on my channel, youtube.com/Boomslangg Gaming HD, and it's the PS4 live stream video, and 20 minutes in.
They'll put a link in the show notes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put a link in there for you. How about that?
That'd be good.
Boomslangs. All right.
But yeah, so you'll be able to open more chests, though, in the open beta.
Now here's one that I think this was probably, and what everyone had. I want to say everyone, when a lot of videos, a lot of feedback. One of the things that almost everyone said, I would say a lot of people said, was that it kind of seemed a little sparse as far as enemies are concerned in certain areas. So now NPCs in the Dark Zone have been significantly increased in number and given a slight buff.
Yeah, so this is what I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think that's going to help out a lot. Just I experienced it too. I know we talked about it. Just running from point A to point B and potentially not seeing anybody. I think that was just kind of, phase A was test A, B, and C. Now they can test D, E, and F by getting everybody into beta and kicking up the number of NPCs. So that's great.
Yep, that was my way of farming Dark Zone currency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And now the next one is one that was one of Boom's criticisms on the game last week, and that was the manhunt timer.
Yeah.
So now when you
Hallelujah,
fixed it. Praise the manhunt.
Yeah.
The manhunt timer, so you get to rogue rank level 5. There's a manhunt against you. So now it used to be if you shot, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. If you shot, I don't even know if you need to hit anybody. If you fired your rifle,
shot at someone.
If you shot, just to try and scare them, it would put your manhunt timer back to the original 300 seconds. It was a little bit ridiculous. Yeah. So now the manhunt timer now pauses instead of refreshing while you're in combat.
It's gonna make it so much easier.
The only question I have is, what if you kill someone? Does it reset it again?
I'd say it'll reset.
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a big one. That makes a big difference, though.
Yeah, because you can at least run now and sort of hold people off. Like you can turn around, shoot, and keep people take cover, and then you can start running again.
Yeah. Use your quick dash move.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen, if you don't know what the quick dash move is, we'll put a link to Boomslang's video in the show notes.
That actually will really help, though. That particular scenario.
It did. Now, here's one I thought was really interesting that they did. And we'll see how this balances out, because this is a big balance factor in the Dark Zone. The reward for surviving as a rogue agent has been increased to 1.5 times the kill bounty.
I think that'll probably be good, because it was so much easier to just farm by killing AI than it was to actually go rogue.
I was going both ways on this, because I know if you got to rank level 1, if you survived rank 1, you got 200 Dark Zone funds. So now this is telling me you'll get 300. So I think it could go either way. It's going to be interesting, because now I think there's a little more incentive. Obviously, there's more incentive to go rogue. So we'll see how that balances out, right?
Right. But also, people killing you would get more rewards too, I think, because they collect
this
that
just
bounty.
this says the reward for surviving as a rogue agent has been increased to 1.5 times the kill bounty.
It'll be interesting to see how that balances out, because you would think that they would. I mean, because you kill them, you get a bounty, so maybe you just get more if you survive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you should get more if you survive, because it's harder to survive as a rogue than it is to kill a rogue.
Yeah, agreed. Now here's the one that I enjoy the most on here. Okay, in the closed beta, if you accidentally shot someone and didn't kill them, there's a threshold. Say you accidentally put a few rounds into somebody's back as you were trying to kill an NPC. Well, then their health bar would turn red, telling you, "Hey, stop shooting this and stop shooting this other agent. Otherwise, you're getting ready to go rogue." Well, I know myself. I've done it a few times. I know a lot of other people. When I see red, I see rogue agent, and I just keep firing. So, so now, so they've taken that part away from the health bar. So the health bar for agents in the Dark Zone will only turn red when they actually become rogue. Red is rogue. Okay, straight enough. But this is really cool. So now there's going to be a new warning icon added to indicate an agent has shot another player but has not done enough damage to go rogue.
Yeah.
So if you shoot another agent, instead of their health bars turning red, they'll they'll have a little icon somewhere. Maybe it's over their head or something that says, "Hey, stop shooting this guy, otherwise you're going to go rogue."
Right.
So as long as that's distinctive from all of the other icons, I think that's a awesome move to do.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I really hope it's the exclamation mark like in Metal Gear Solid. And if they use the sound effect, that's even better.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see that or not.
And then let's see. Then there was a bunch of other stuff in there for Dark Zone stuff. There's other Dark Zone fixes to prevent camping extractions, so it prevent you from camping extraction points. I think one thing they'd mentioned was removing ropes in certain areas that allowed people to access places that they really were able to camp from. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, just a lot of random stuff.
And then a bunch of glitches to escape going rogue, and then numerous other changes and bug fixes and blah blah. And you can find all of that in the Division.Zone article that I will put a link to in our show notes.
Sweet.
So, community news. I wanted to highlight this guy and his tool because this thing was amazing. On Reddit, Reddit user, you can find him on Twitter at Jack Miodec. That's JACKMIODEC. But he put this on Twitter, what he's calling a skill calculator. It's awesome. It really is pretty much it's a website. It's pretty much a web-based replica of the in-game skill, talents, and perks menu. So if you think about the menu and you look, it's got the 3 trees on the left. It's got all the stats. You click on it and it'll change everything on the right, so you can see all of the modifiers that go to the perk. And then if you click on the modifier, it'll show you all the descriptions. It's essentially just having your personal version of the in-game talent, perk, and skill portion on your own computer. It's really awesome. So all the icons are the same, all the information is the same. So interested to see how that progresses. But you can find, I'll put a link to this, but you can find his calculator at Miodec, I'm going to say Mio, whatever we say.
Either or.
Yeah, MIODEC.com/division. And then, like I said, you can follow him on Twitter at Jack Miodec, JACKMIODEC. And it's a really cool tool. I'm really excited that the community is already creating things like this. And I've said it a couple times. I hope that Massive and Ubisoft kind of provide some API for the community to continue making tools like this. So I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to try to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, they've been so community focused, it'd just be icing on the cake, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And for RAR news, we just you're going to find us on Twitch, on our Twitch channel, streaming this week for the open beta. So be sure you go and give us a follow at twitch.tv/RogueAgentRadio. And I'm sure we'll set up some stream times for ourselves and just be on there in general.
Yep, definitely.
Whenever we're streaming or whenever we're playing. So I have
we don't have a
wife
schedule
and kids
yet.
will be gone this weekend. So
you stream every time you're playing. That's it. Every single time. Let's go ahead and you have anything final that you want to add?
No. That was it for the news of the week.
Sweet. Let's go ahead and hear what the fans have to say with listener mail. Remind you, if you want to be part of Rogue Agent Radio, send us your questions and topics to rogueagentradio@gmail.com, where they'll be answered on the show. Just like Anthony Martin, he says, "Hi guys, I'm a new listener and I'm going to say he loves the show because it's LIVE, live the show. I'm going to say you love the show. I'm just going to speak for you. Had great fun in the beta and can't wait until the game releases. Can you quickly explain how the loot works in the Dark Zone? More specifically, if a player picks up some loot off an AI, then me and my group kill that player. He then drops the loot, but who then pick up the loot? Can pick up the loot? Everyone in my group or just one person? Is it random? Who? If it's everyone, then effectively multiplies the loot. Thanks. Hooded. I guess that's his name. In the Dark Zone, if you're playing with a team or if you're playing just in general and you see someone else kill somebody and that player drops loot, I'm pretty sure that generally drops loot for just about everybody, I think.
If it's NPC.
Yeah, if it's NPC, if you're close. I know if you're in the same group and that player, like if it's an elite enemy or a boss enemy, it normally drops a blue. It drops a blue for everybody. That's like guaranteed drops a blue every time for everybody. Now, it doesn't, like, you won't get the same thing that someone else gets if you're in that same group. And we've talked about this a little bit before, so we're just going to briefly hit this. In the Dark Zone, the loot is your individual loot streams unless it is loot dropped by another player. So if someone else kills another player, whether they're rogue or not, when you see that loot, everybody sees that loot, and the first person to grab it gets it. So you could effectively, I don't know how they're going to do this, but you could basically like share loot that way. You know, just if someone's like, oh, I got this sweet gun. Oh, well, I'm going to kill you so I can take it. Like, okay, that's no big deal, you know. So, but then they go rogue and there's all that stuff to go in with it. But yeah, only the only open loot stream is when an agent dies in the Dark Zone. Next question is from Justin Sandsaver. He says, hey guys, love the show. Had a question about min-maxing or setting up the best. Wait, is that the right one? Did I skip one? No, that's it. The best mods, etc., for your character. I heard you mention in an early episode that a shooting range would be unlockable in one of the sectors of the hub, or base of operations, actually. I'm hoping this will be an actual range and not just cosmetic. That being said, do you think they will add in target dummies that allow us to test out your different setups and monitor actual damage? This has been a thing in several MMORPGs, and I have played it and hoping this is something the developers will adapt for the Division. And we talked about this a little bit in episode 17 with all the perks and things. We think that there's going to be an actual legitimate shooting range in the base with stuff to show your damage and everything. Is that what you guys are thinking too?
Yeah, that's the way it really seems with the information they've put out so far.
Yeah, that's what it appears to me. I don't see why they wouldn't put in targets to be able to tell you your damage. I think they realize, hey, there's a lot of modifiers and a lot of things that change how these guns perform. So people are going to need a place to go and shoot their guns and figure out how much damage they're doing, you know, what works best for them, you know, so they can have different ranges, different targets to shoot, things like that, maybe some cover. I don't know. Definitely think that there's going to be a range in there, and that's going to be really awesome because it would be frustrating to have to go in there and, you know, equip your gun and then go out into the world and find the same people to shoot over and over and over again. I feel like that would be kind of annoying because I did that when I was trying to like show how min-maxing your electronics would work. So I would go in there and like have extremely low electronics, shoot a sticky bomb at someone, detonate it, and then just have them kill me and then do it over again. So I have to watch that loading screen. But yeah, I definitely think that there will be a shooting range, and that's going to be the best way to min-max your character and figure out what works best for you. Anyways, that is it for the mail. We're only going to do a couple of mails because we have some more things to talk about. If you guys want to ask questions or just have in general topics to go over, send them in to rogueagentradio@gmail.com. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move into the topic of the week. And for this particular topic, this isn't exactly details or information on the game. This is Rogue Agent Radio's do's and don'ts of the Division open beta in particular. This was started by DeepFriedDave. He tweeted from Rogue Agent Radio and asked if you could give one bit of advice to a new agent heading into the open beta based on your closed beta experience, what would it be? And we got an overwhelming amount of responses, and some of these were pretty hilarious. My personal favorite is wear a condom when you go into the dark zone. So, but yeah, we got some great responses from everybody, and yeah, we'll read some of these, we'll give some of ours, and then just have a general conversation about it. So, Doom, how about you pick one and read, and then you can just we'll just go from there.
Well, the one that I'm actually going to have to try to remember, I'm going to skip down a few, was from Monk at Rezo Monk, another Resolute member, says use your consumables and enjoy, especially solo in the Dark Zone against players or elite NPCs. They make a huge difference. I kept forgetting to do this all the time, using the consumables, the canned food and the energy bars, and then the ammo too. Like I finally started using the ammo and learned that explosive rounds were doing a lot of damage against those elite cleaners up in the upper left corner of the dark zone. But yeah, I kept forgetting to do it. It's weird, how you use them, but you just got to get used to it. But that's a big piece of advice that I'm gonna have to take.
Yeah, you would always forget about them. I always forgot about them, even though I had them mapped to my paddles on my scuff controller. I would still forget them. But eventually, once I figured out that if you use an M44 carbine, I don't know if this is going to change for the open beta or not, but if you equip the incendiary rounds or explosive rounds, every single bullet explodes and every single bullet will set someone on fire. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not I think how the math and the algorithms work with it, normally with an assault rifle, it's like every 10th round or whatever will set someone on fire, or every 10th round will explode. Every single one with the M44 does it. So that made it really fun because you could just sit there and light everyone on fire. It was pretty awesome. What about you, Dave? You take the next one.
Let's see. For me, I think my biggest one, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it when we talk about our topics for the week. This is from Wells Mark II. Don't be afraid to go into the dark zone, even if you're by yourself.
I second that.
There was I'd say the majority, probably say 75% of the people who responded to the tweet, maybe 68% of the people, 68% of the people who responded to the tweet said, don't go into the dark zone alone, which I get. It can make for a bad experience if you don't do it correctly.
Yeah.
So knowing that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that for my do's and don'ts later in the segment, but I would take that advice. Don't be afraid to go into the dark zone, especially if you're by yourself. There's lots of ways to make this an enjoyable experience by yourself. And as long as you know how the dark zone works, and you're not surprised by it when you go in there, I think you're fine. Just don't go in there and get frustrated right away and go out. You want to try and do some different things. So I'll talk about that in my do's and don'ts section here in a little bit, but I think that's a great bit of advice.
Yeah. And the other few are just, in general, really good responses. At Thaddeus Prime, he says, bring friends, watch your back in the dark zone, and just have fun. That's another way of playing the dark zone, and just enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun with friends, and it's a lot of fun solo, too. Like, I think the best thing to do solo is another response from Lincoln117 Echo, who is at JRimbert316. He says, explore everything. And that's it. That's one of the most fun things you can do playing solo, or if you're playing with friends. I mean, it just depends on who your friends are. A lot of times you play with people and they don't like to explore. They want to go do something, or they just want to sit in one spot and look at their inventory, and then eventually they'll follow you.
Well, even if you're exploring and you're out in the PvE area, you go into some of those apartments, you find a whole bunch of, cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, there's tons of things to do, whether you're playing solo or playing single player. Like, you'll see things, Easter eggs or places. I found an area that is a safe house in the PvE area. It's up towards the north, close to where the cleaner Echo is. There's a hole that goes underground, and the actual hub itself, or safe room, is underground in there somewhere, and I just took off running trying to find it. You can't go in the door or whatever, but there is one in there, which I thought was kind of cool because it has that little white circle that is in front of all the other ones.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool. Let's see, where's some other ones?
There's another one down here from Sirs Miz in the dark zone. Don't trust anyone without a yellow sack on their back.
Yeah, those guys are suspicious.
That's especially true around extraction zones. Mm-hmm. If there's people hanging out around an extraction zone and they don't have loot to extract, they're going to try to take your loot, most likely.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially if it's a 4-man group and none of them have it. Right. If a 4-man group comes up to an extraction zone and you see, like, one or two of them don't have anything on their backs, but a couple of them do, those are a little bit more trustworthy. But if it's a group of 4 and they have nothing, might as well just start running because they're there for no good reason. And especially if you're playing solo. If you're playing solo, just don't even bother. If there's like three or more people at an extraction zone, just let them have it.
Trying to extract solo is where it gets really, really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. At Tubby02 says, take your time. There is so much more to this game than just running around and shooting everything, which kind of goes in with what Lincoln was saying, just exploring everything. But there really is. Like the environments, the missions are fun. If you want to get a lot of cosmetic items, go around, help civilians. They'll drop a lot of good stuff, or even weapon camos. I wonder if they'll increase the drop rate of weapon camos, or if they'll just add a vendor for the open beta.
It would be nice if they did both.
Yeah.
To be honest, but yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Insect Shelf 3 that's at Insect Shelf 3 says use cover. Level 4 enemies can still melt a level 8 player if he isn't super careful.
Yep.
This is true.
Absolutely.
I like how they make this game where the enemies are extremely lethal as opposed to just being super spongy, even at lower levels. I mean, you get higher levels, they're going to be a little bit spongier, but all of them are extremely lethal.
Especially in the dark zone. I mean, every NPC enemy is dangerous. Doesn't matter what level they are.
Right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's funny when you're running through the dark zone and you're either chasing a rogue or you are rogue, and you run through a group of NPCs. You're like, crap.
Yeah,
because they'll kill you.
You're trying to extract, and then they just start like jumping over the ledges and coming out of doors and windows and stuff. And it's like
with baseball bats.
Yeah.
Clunk.
So I got one that we didn't throw up on here, but I just thought it was hilarious because I don't know what it means. Lady of Legend said, "Don't lick the windows," and I have no idea what that means, but it's hilarious. And,
oh, lady. Let's see.
But definitely shoot through them because you'll see the bullet. Like you can see how many windows it goes through and what it'll hit.
Yeah. You can actually cut windows out. It's kind of fun.
But I'm assuming that Lady of Legend found a way to lick a window, had a bad experience, and is now just communicating that out. To say,
well, it's cold in New York in the Division, so her tongue possibly froze to the window if she was outside.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I'm going with, at least. At Ginter says, shoot later and ask questions first. Diplomacy will get you far if you have a squad, of course. Or even if you don't have a squad, I would add. Because there was a lot of times where I was playing solo, and it's so easy to join a squad if you're running along with another solo player. They're probably having the same, struggles that you are, having a hard time extracting or whatever. Use the proximity chat if it's working for you at that particular time. Be like, hey, join up or whatever. Send them an invite. And I had a squad of 4 people in like 5 minutes of entering the dark zone. And that's how easy it is. You just wander around looking for other people. I wouldn't recommend going up to like a 3-person squad. You might have a harder time getting in that one. But, if you find other solo players, chances are they'll squad up with you because, like I said, they're having the same struggles that you are. And, you're stronger as a group. And you can make new friends that way too. So you never know. So I think that's all of the ones that we had picked out from it. There's a lot more.
Yeah, there was a lot of people saying similar stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your question got left out, don't be mad at us. Like, we just picked out a few.
We'd have a 3-hour episode.
We'd have a 3-hour episode. Yeah. Every week we have to like restrain ourselves because every episode would be 3 hours, and then this wouldn't be the #1 Division podcast. And
but it would definitely be the longest.
It'd be the longest. So, Dave, what are some of your do's and don'ts of the Division, especially for the open beta?
I can think I'm going to say a couple of my PvE do's. First one would be, which I found out a little late in the game, is don't forget about situation boards.
Yeah.
I found that so situation boards are kind of like notice boards from Witcher, to where you'll go up, if you inspect it, it'll put some put some things on your map, like new encounters or new, little side missions, stuff like that. So there's a situation board right at the camp when you spawn at the beginning of the game. So make sure you look at that one. And then when you unlock your base of operations, there'll be one, and make sure you look at that. But then I think we all found that, when we thought we were kind of getting down, hadn't got thought we got through all the side missions, and I don't know what it was, whether it was a refresh or a side mission unlocked it, but all of a sudden I was able to go back to both mission boards and get a new set of side missions and a couple new encounters. And I don't know how it refreshed, but I would say if you think you're going through the PvE stuff, in my case, I was running short on medical supplies in order to unlock the second tier of skill mods in the medical tree. So I just happened to go back and notice that there was able to click on it. And that's how I found out. So I did it a couple times. But go back to the cap huts and go back to your base operations when you get a little bit through the PvE area and double check those, make sure there's not any more side missions.
Yeah. I think that's definitely some good points, because I don't think I ever even activated my hub situation board until like I was like level 7 or something, because I was always playing with other people and they would just go do the missions and I would just follow them, and then I would complete all of the missions. That's how I ended up having 8 out of 9 echoes, because the second one got lost in transition somehow. I didn't collect it or whatever because it was part of that like Heather Lau mission, and I somehow didn't pick it up, and so I was stuck at 8 out of 9. I was like, dang it, I wanted all of them. Like, I have all of them on video, but I don't have. I actually watched when I made a video of all of my echoes. I can see where I came up to that echo and just looked at it and walked away. I was like screaming at myself. I was like, pick it up, you moron! But anyways.
Another thing I would say is, this was for me personal. If I were to say, I would say don't go into the dark zone until you have all your skills unlocked.
Yeah,
I think that just makes sense. So you can build your character to help you in the dark zone, but you'll find that now in the open beta it'll be different. But like in the closed beta, you unlock the tree and you automatically get your first skill. Or no, you could equip your first skill right away.
Yeah.
But then you had to upgrade. Do one of the upgrades in your base in order to get your second skill in the medical tree, and then you had to do another upgrade in your base, and it unlocked the skill mods for your base pulse skill. So I made it a point to do those missions to get that, because once you unlock that pulse skill mods, there's a couple that would help you either as a group in the dark zone or solo in the dark zone.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is especially going to come into play when this turret mission becomes available in the open beta. So I'd say do that first. Make sure you get your turret. Make sure you get your skill mods and your pulse and your med kit. Get all of those first and have some fun in the PvE area, taking it slow and learning the game and the mechanics and how to throw a grenade and all that stuff. And then I think you'll be ready to go into the dark zone.
Yeah. As soon as this opens up, and I'm going to go in there solo. I'm going to make a video on how to play the Dark Zone solo, because I haven't really seen any videos of that either. And there's a way you do it, and there's a way you don't do it. I mean, that's definitely do's and I guess that'll probably be like my do's and don'ts. Quick tips of how to do it solo. Unless Doom, what are your do's and don'ts?
Just a couple. As far as the Dark Zone goes, yeah, when soloing the Dark Zone, I kept getting a lot of messages about how, asking how I got the weapons, the purple weapons, and all of that stuff that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I would just go in and I wouldn't engage other agents. I would just move around. I would move from Dark Zone vendor, or from checkpoint to checkpoint, and fight PvE enemies or NPC enemies along the way, gain credits, and just basically do a loop and keep checking all of the vendors until I had all the gear I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just move around that way. And if I picked up gear and stuff like that on the way, I would try to extract. If there was an extraction already going on, I would hang back and wait until the helicopter was almost there. Then I would run in, throw my gear on the rope, and then run out.
Right.
And not hang around. The other the other thing, specifically about the Dark Zone is people that haven't played the beta yet. You need to understand this isn't traditional PvP.
Yeah.
It's not Call of Duty. It's not Destiny. You don't just run in and shoot everything you see.
Don't pull a claw, man.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go in and just get caught because you're not going to get out because people are just going to be chasing you. So, it's not intended for you to just go in and just fight everybody. It's not a death match.
That's not your goals.
It's just
How do I get out of the Dark Zone?
Yeah,
I'll never forget.
That's the funniest thing. Oh man. It was like you could tell he was right in the middle of a firefight and he's just like, I don't know what's happening.
It's like, what are you doing? I'm shooting everyone. It's like, well, number one, that's your problem.
You're doing it wrong. You just got to go in and just play tactically and move around, be cautious, play defensively.
Yeah.
If you go in, maybe, not me, bro. I kill everybody I see. Well,
for a little while, maybe.
Yeah, for a little bit, until you hit rogue level 5 and then everybody in there is going to be hunting you down.
Yeah. I would like to see a rogue level 5 solo agent survive.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Send me that video.
Gonna happen.
I want to see
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. I want to see it. Like, that would be impressive. I will be impressed. We might have you as a guest on the podcast, and you can tell us how you did it. And it has to be better than just running. You have to actually kill some people.
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
But speaking of running, that definitely is a way. That's one of my best tactical moves, I feel, is running away.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
in all seriousness, is that when if you've tried to chase down a rogue, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because you're both running at the same speed, and I would just give up a lot of times chasing a rogue because it is kind of hard. Mm-hmm. So I would give you the same advice as a solo rogue: is run away.
Yeah.
And if you come up and there's a group of 4, it's hard to tell if they're in a group. If there's a group of 4 and you're not sure if they're going to go against you or not, don't walk gingerly by with your gun raised at them, waiting to see if they're okay or not. Try to run by, but still running by, you're putting yourself pretty close to them because it's a street, so it's only so wide.
Right.
But turn around and run. Go around the alley across.
Yeah.
Use your pulse. Yeah, use your pulse. See if someone's behind you. Just turn around and run. Don't try to do that. Don't try and do it that way because you're just putting yourself into situations that's going to get you frustrated.
Yeah.
And I would say,
Go ahead. Sorry.
And the last thing about running is don't run down the middle of the street if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
If you run down the middle of the street, I will shoot you in the back as you run away.
Yep. Serpentine.
Run on the sidewalks. If you run down the sidewalks, that's where a lot of the cover is. There's car cover. There's different boxes and garbage. As you're trying to shoot someone, those were always the hardest ones for me. If I was chasing down a rogue or if I was going rogue, and you try to shoot someone that's running away at an equal speed that you are, and they're running on the sidewalk, there are so many obstacles and things that get in the way that it's really, really hard to get them down. So don't run down the middle of the street and run away when you need to.
Yeah. 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 And that's a good point. Even as a group, if you come into either NPC enemies or another large group of players, agents that you're fighting against, don't be afraid, whoever the team leader is, because there does need to be a team leader who's calling the shots.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to break contact and fall back.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to run away, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Don't try to be a tough guy because that's generally just going to get you killed and get your loot stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My one other piece of advice that I would like to see people start doing is get used to using the cover to cover moves.
Yeah.
Because even though we're not going to have perks in this, there are going to be perks that are going to benefit your cover to cover movement. Start moving tactically. Get used to doing that, and instead of just running around and just shooting or literally just standing behind something but not actually using the sticky cover mechanic.
Yeah.
It just, get used to how it feels and how it moves and how to, quickly select which cover you want to move to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. My do's and don'ts, and this kind of goes along with the running. If you are running and you are all rogue level 5s and you have like 15 other agents chasing you and one of your buddies gets downed, leave him.
Yeah.
he is dead.
Don't
turn around and save him.
I got left many a time by Boom and Doom. I can speak to this.
Yeah, because
which is fine.
Don't turn around and shoot, and don't turn around to save someone because you will all die.
Yeah, there's no heroes in the dark zone.
Yeah, once you're all rogue level 5, unless you're all making your last stand on a rooftop somewhere, which is also not a very good idea.
Which you can see a video of.
Which you can see a video of. Just run and don't. Yeah, every man for himself when you're running, because if you turn around and try to save them, everybody's going to die.
Now, in my defense, though, when I respawned, I was a tactical advantage for the rest of you getting away. I was trying to distract them and just like, hey, look at me, don't look at them.
Yeah.
Try to potch out a few things at them. Hey, come get me.
And that would have worked great unless or if it didn't reset the timer.
Right. Yep, yeah,
he shot at him. We were like 30 seconds. We're gonna make it. Cow. Why is our timer at 5 minutes again?
Yeah.
Dave's like, I'm saving you. I was like, I appreciate that. Anyways,
however,
that just run and don't try to save them when they're at rogue. And I'm just gonna go with some of my dudes because we're pressed for time. But anyways, as a solo player, like they're saying, you want to use Pulse and you want to use the healing and maybe the turret, depending on how that works out, but definitely the Pulse and the healing, because there's 2 ways you could do the Pulse. I would almost use the Pulse that hides yourself.
Yes, that's what I was going to recommend too.
Yeah, because then no one can see where you are. But if you're going to extract gear, run up to the area and go to a one that seems dead or really, really quiet where there's nothing going on. And then Pulse, make sure no one's there, and run with very high stamina, so you have a lot of health in case someone does start shooting at you. You can get away, and then you can stamina, and maybe even stamina and electronics.
That's the way. That was my build.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that way, and your pulse will last longer too.
Yeah.
Your pulse will last longer, which means you'll stay hidden off of the pulse longer.
You'll heal more. Yeah. You don't need to do a ton of damage because your goal isn't to go in and kill other agents. Your goal is to go in and kill AI enemies or NPCs, however you want to say it, and then get Dark Zone credit.
And I think this might be a good idea, Boom, since nobody's used the turret before.
Yeah.
It might be a good opportunity just to explain real quick how to use the turret, because this is going to be the second damage dealing skill that we've seen, and this is automatically activated against enemies. And I think we're going to see some very, very different views of the Dark Zone and how extractions work, because I'm just envisioning 6 turrets lying on the ground and the agents pointing at each other.
Just waiting.
If you're all friendly agents to each other and you have your turret's just sitting around. It says non-hostile agent. It's just non-hostile agent. As soon as someone goes rogue against you, rogue means hostile.
Those turrets are going off.
Those turrets are going off.
Yeah.
So I have a question. If somebody has deployed a turret and it's just sitting there and it's friendly, if you shoot that turret and not the person, do you go rogue?
We're going to find out.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
We're going to figure it out. But yeah, the turret, I mean, it functions. I'm trying to think of something. Well, I guess no one's really used it, but the turret, you can either just like tap your skill button and it'll set it down, or you can throw it. I think you can throw it. Can you throw it?
Yeah, you can throw it.
Yeah, I think you can. So you can hold it down and then you can throw it. It works the same way as the secret mine. I wish we could use the secret mine. That thing's freaking awesome.
Can the turret walk? Because it looks like it has legs. It looks almost like the turret from Doom 3. If anybody remembers Doom 3, the one little the robot that would follow you around.
I don't think so. That would be kind of cool, though. Have it just walking around.
Is that what you're thinking, or is it?
I hope in the next Division 2, I hope there's more like robots that can kind of like they had the little robot that the tablet guy could control. I hope that comes back, or it comes back as like a skill, or like a signature skill or something like that, where you can have these robots around with you. I think that would be pretty cool. Like the technology, like they get more technology or something like that. But anyways. So those are our do's and don'ts of the Division. I'm sure everyone else has a lot of other ones. If you have more, I guess tweet them at us, and then we'll retweet them and just share it. We're one big happy family community of agents, so we're trying to help everyone out. But with that, let's go ahead and talk about the gun review. So what are we going to talk about this week, dude?
This week we're going to talk about what ended up being my favorite gun in the closed beta, the M1A.
Mm-hmm.
This ended up being my best all-around gun. I mean, it's technically a DMR or a marksman rifle.
Yeah.
But because it's high capacity or higher capacity magazine than the M44 and the quicker rate of fire, I could actually use it as a medium-ranged battle rifle.
Yeah.
And a sniper rifle.
Yeah, it was a really good all-purpose weapon.
Yeah, which I really like how the aiming works. Since this is a third-person game, whenever you aim, you're just kind of aiming over the shoulder. But if you have a scope, then you can go, ADS
right,
and then snipe with it both. So I really liked it. It did a decent amount of damage and with a high enough rate of fire. So a little bit of information about the real-world version. We kind of already did a review over this because it's basically the civilian version of the M14.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed and manufactured by Springfield Armory in 1974. The term M1A is a proprietary title for the Springfield Armory's M14 pattern rifle.
Right.
Early M1As were built with surplus GI parts until Springfield Armory began manufacturing their own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically, like I said, the civilian version. So going back to the M14, I think, wasn't that the first weapon review we did? It was one of the first.
I think so. Let me find out. I'll go look at it right now.
It was really early.
You can continue and I'll let you know.
So the M14 was developed to take the place of 4 different weapon systems: the M1 rifle, the M1 carbine, the M3 grease gun, and the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle.
Mm.
It was thought that in this manner, the M14 could simplify the logistical requirements of the troops by limiting the types of ammunition and parts needed to be supplied.
Right.
So that's basically what where the M14 came from. So
yeah.
the M1A is for the most part identical to the M14. There are, however, a few differences.
Episode 2.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
16 episodes ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So early M1As were made from M14 receiver blanks, but current M1As are made from precision investment cast alloy steel. There's a bunch of letters and numbers there. It's not important. So the military M14 receivers were manufactured using the drop forge process, which is more complicated and more expensive. Until around the 1990s, the M1 produced by Springfield Armory retained the cutout in the rear sight, or the rear right of the stock, for where the selector switch was found on the M14. So it used to have that cutout, but it doesn't anymore. So Springfield Armory also omitted the 7.62 millimeter caliber designator on the M14 or on the M1A receiver since 1991. So there's a few little changes. It doesn't say 7.62 millimeter on it anymore, and blah blah blah. So let's see what else I have on here. Once the federal assault weapons ban of 1994 was passed, it prohibited the manufacturing of firearms with the bayonet lugs. So the M14 no longer shipped with the actual bayonet lug on it. But the law expired. The assault weapons ban expired in 2004. I remember exactly when that happened because I was in Iraq and I was talking to my buddy about it and all the cool guns I was going to buy when I got home. But it made when the assault weapons ban expired, it made the bayonet lugs legal again. So, but Springfield Armory has not restored that feature since the bayonet lug is attached to the flash suppressor. Post-ban rifles can easily be fitted with a bayonet lug by fitting a pre-ban flash suppressor.
A pre-ban one? So you have to have one that was not banned before or whatever?
I guess so. I know we have some listeners who know a lot more about that stuff than I do, and I'm sure I'm going to get all kinds of messages about it.
I'm curious to see because I haven't really heard about it.
So there's a couple of variants of the M14 or the M1,
and I think there's different variants in the game too.
Okay,
I've seen different ones. Like there's this one M1A that has like a pouch on the stock, and it looks different from this one. And we've seen ones that are like black, that are like they're what's the material that they use for it? It's like black plastic or whatever.
Right. The polymer.
Yeah, polymer. It's like black polymer, and it's not wood. So
yeah, that's probably the SOCOM 16 version, which is actually one of the guns I want to buy in real life. The Springfield SOCOM 16. It's a modern variant of the M14, manufactured with lighter materials. It's the rifle with the shortest barrel length that is permissible without taxing and registration under the National Firearms Act.
Really?
So 16-inch barrel, it's still legal without getting the tax stamp and all of that stuff.
Huh.
So, but it's pretty short. And like I said, that's the gun that I really want to buy in real life, because it's a straight up, M1A, but it's really short.
Be a good hunting rifle.
Yeah. So the gas system was reworked to ensure proper operation with the shortened barrel, and a new compensator was added to help soften recoil.
You know what would be cool is if we threw in some videos of these guns being fired, if we could find them on YouTube. Yeah,
that would be cool.
Because I think I've seen one of people shooting this gun, but it might have been in a documentary. I can't remember.
Yeah.
They talked about it.
So I got a picture on here of the of my M1 that I used. I didn't find a lot of really cool like purple upgrades and stuff for it, but the one I had on here, I mean, I just had the white 12 times scope. I never got to find. I saw some people with the purple, I think 15 times scope.
Yeah, that thing was crazy. I mean, I found a blue 12 times, and that was like the most I ever found out of any of them.
Yeah, but I started running with the extended mag. And instead of putting a suppressor on it, I put a compensator on there because, most of the time I was running as tank, and I wanted, the aggro. I didn't want the reduced threat. So, using the compensator, it would usually adjust my horizontal stability and all of that stuff. So it got pretty good. Like the stability and everything on it. I could sit there and rapid fire shots and take out a lot of guys with it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a pretty beast with that gun. I started using it towards the end too. I switched from my M44 just because, I'd had my fun with the M44. Headshots are cool and stuff, but this gun works better in the dark zone when you're fighting rogue agents and stuff. You can get those repeat shots pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a more on the run, kind of gun. The M44 definitely is more powerful, but 5-round magazine, bolt action, slow rate of fire. Like you better be good. And, everybody knows my aim's not great, but I can hit body shots pretty good, and then, usually kick it up into headshots. But this is definitely a good panic fire sniper rifle, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you get like a really a high end magazine. You could bump the rounds in the mag up to like 20 or something like that, like a drum magazine.
Yeah,
that'd be
I think
awesome.
12 or 13 might have been the most that I was able to get out of this, but that's just having the the blue extended mag and everything.
Right. Yeah, there were some purple ones that would bump it up even more, but those are hard to come by.
But yeah, this is definitely going to be the gun I'm looking for in the open beta. I'm going to be trying to get it as soon as possible.
I can't wait till the full game comes out so we can hang on to these guns forever if we want to or whatever. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 18 of Rogue Agent Radio. We want to remind you to check out rogueagentradio.com, where you can find all of our links, whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, or Twitter. You can be sure to find it all there. If you're hungry for more Tom Clancy talk, then check out Aim Assist Gaming and their podcast dedicated to Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, the show. If you want to keep up with all of the hosts of Rogue Agent Radio in between episodes, you can follow us on Twitter. Dave is at DeepFriedDave. Doom is at BlessedDoom. And yours truly, and BlessedDoom is with an underscore at the end, don't forget. And yours truly is at Boomslangg with 2 G's and an underscore. Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next time, maintain radio silence and watch your corners, agents.
Rogue protocol initiated.